Hi guys, it's me Sam, I'm back again. I've got a little video talking about all my guitars today. I thought I'd share some videos with you of me playing said guitars over the years. But the first thing I want to do is thank you, because I've recently just hit 10,000 subscribers, which I'm immensely proud of, and I'm really just humbled by that. It's just incredible for me to think that many people like to watch my videos. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. So let's get rocking. Okay, so here's my main guitar at the moment. I bought this guitar in 2011 from Guitar Works in Canada, in Calgary, and it's a Japanese Charvel SoCal. Now it's changed drastically, and some of the point of me, sharing videos with you today is to show how much it's changed over the years. So I bought this in 2011, like I said. The first thing I did with it, really, or sort of the first bigger thing I did with it, was I went to Rob Chapman's Monkey Fest, and here's a video of me playing that guitar there. It was all stock at this stage. The only thing I'd done is I'd gone out to the dollar store and I'd bought some electrical tape and done a bit of an Eddie Van Halen thing on the pickguard. So later that year I did my first Jam Track Central session with it. Here's a video of that just up here. And again, the guitar was all stock, but I'd taken off the tape. So the next thing for that guitar was 2012. I did my next Jam Track Central session at Jan Circus House, and the guitar had changed quite a lot at that stage. Brad Lindbergh, good friend of mine over here in Calgary, had modded the pickup kind of thing quite drastically, and it's pretty much the same now actually. The only thing that's different is the cosmetics. When we first did it, I was kind of going for that pawn shop look, so we had the pickup cover was different. It had a white cover, it had 3 white knobs at that stage, and also me and my friend Chris Bullin had just put on the Canadian/Great Britain flag kind of thing. We had the Union Jack and the Canadian flag on there, and I left that on for a while, but it started to get a bit scuffed up, so that got taken off. And obviously I've got a black pick cover on here, pickup cover, and the black knobs. But I've got a white switch. I quite like the white switch. I think it just makes it pop a little bit. So that's that guitar. Seymour Duncan JB, Seymour Duncan single coil, I can't remember what model it is precisely, and a Damasio Super Distortion, which is a great pickup for the shred stuff. And when I'm doing the faster stuff, I like to be on the neck pickup. Original Floyd Rose, big frets, which are getting a little bit worn now. I think this year, maybe next year, it might be due a refred. I've got some strap locks on here. I've got the back removed because I'm going from different tunings. This is currently tuned E flat because that's what we do in Asia. But when I'm doing my own thing, I usually put 9s on it and tune it up to standard. So it's just nice to have the plate removed for that. So that's that guitar, my favourite. Probably will remain my favourite for a long time, I think. Oh, the other thing, one of my other proud moments, I got to sit in with my absolute hero, Walter Trout, which was a real honour, and here's a video of me doing that. Walter's always been a big inspiration of mine, and it was such a pleasure to sit in with him. He's been quite under the weather recently. Now he's got a new liver and he's doing much better, which I'm really pleased about. So yeah, good on you, Walter. That's great. So that's that guitar. Okay, so this is my number 2 guitar, and I use this a lot with Asia as well. Played it a lot last year around Europe, and a lot this year. We did a UK tour and a Japanese tour. I've definitely used this for maybe not quite half of all the songs, but quite a few songs. Here's a video of me in Germany doing my unaccompanied solo. Yeah, it's it's my number 2 guitar, but for some reason I was using it for the solo. I guess it just sort of where that's placed in the set made me use this guitar. But yeah, this is actually a Mexican model. This is it's one of the Mexican standards of the Floyd Rose. I don't think you can actually get an American Stratocaster with a Floyd Rose, so that's why I went for one of these. Damasio choppers, which are quite low output compared to, you know, something like a Super Distortion that I've got on the other one. And this is the Damasio Tone Zone, which is a great pickup for that bridge pickup position. It's got a great mid-range spike, which works really well for your riffs and stuff. So Jaden Rose did an absolutely marvellous job at refretting this. I've got a video of that you can click here and check out. He made it look ridiculously easy as well. I think we did 2 guitars in the space of only a couple of hours, which was amazing to watch and hang out. He also put this pickguard on, which you know, Damasio Electronics, I believe, as well. This 5-way switch, and I think the pot's a Damasio as well. In fact, this pot is a real dream to do the violin swelling on. And here's a video that you can click here of me doing one of my favourite jazz standards, Autumn Leaves, and really ripping off one of my favourite singers, Eva Cassidy. I pinched her acoustic arrangement and I did some violin swells over the top. So yeah, number 2, this one. It's got a particularly dark bit of rosewood here as well. Of course, the Floyd Rose, which is great. Locking nut, obviously. Damasio Strat blocks. I'm just waiting for the day that someone comes up to me while I'm, you know, playing and drops it off. But yeah, that's number 2. There it is. Right then, so here's number 3. So this guitar kind of got a bit neglected last year. I got the 2 at the same time, the white and the blue Stratocasters, and they're pretty much identical, or they were to begin with, except for the colour. And yeah, I think it was the colour that made it not get used so much, because I was quite enjoying, you know, wearing black and playing white guitars at the time. But yeah, this was kind of a dressing room guitar last year, but I've been using it a hell of a lot this year, because the first 2 guitars that you've seen have actually been in England while I've been back over here in Canada. So late last year, which was 2013, I got Brad Lindbergh, my good friend, to do a job on the pickguard here. And we actually used the original pickups which were in my Charvel. So this is the original tone zone that was in the Charvel, and this is the Evolution. This is a Super Distortion, which was in it earlier. Jaden put this in at the same time they did the fret job, and again you can watch that video just here. I've been using this guitar predominantly for my own trio that I'm doing a lot while I'm in town here. You can check out a video of me talking about and playing over Crossroads with some solos and things just here. And one of my favourite things that I'm most proud of that I did with this year is I recorded just a cover version of Schindler's List, which is of course composed by the mighty John Williams. I just love the theme. I did a lot of volume swelling. I learned it all by ear as well, which was a really good challenge. So yeah, what else can I tell you? 5-way switch, just like the other guitars. In the 2 and the 4 position, you get the same thing that you'd get in a standard Strat. You get the gnarly Strat sound. So despite it having, you know, beefy humbuckers, we can still pull off some nice clean tones. This has got a lovely bit of wood on the neck here as well. I'll give you a bit of a close-up. You can see it's all nicely sort of figured. Sometimes you get lucky with some guitars, you know. And again, Jaden did an incredible fret job. You know, look at that. Nice, tall, mighty frets. Yeah. So this has become a bit of a favourite recently, with the other 2 being back in England. Yeah, great guitar, feels great, plays great, sounds great. what more could you want? So there it is, number 3. Okay, so here's the last Super Strat that I've got for you to have a look at today. And this is one that Fender just sent me just before I went away 2 months ago. So I haven't really played it. It actually came on the day that I left. And I just got back yesterday. So we've still got the tag on here, you know. It's sort of a bit Nigel Tufnell having the tag still on. But I think a few mods will happen to this one. I'm sure I'll change the pickups at some stage, and some other fun things which you'll see in the coming month or so I'm going to do to this. But it's got a lovely flame top on this one. It's cosmetically pleasing. It's a nice 2-piece older body. The neck feels really good. You know, again it's just a little bit different from the other 2 Strats. It's the model up. Again, it's Mexican, and you know, you can only get the Floyd Rose on those Mexican ones, so that's why I go for them. But yeah, look at the lovely flame on this. And yeah, not a single video that I've done with this one yet, so I can't share anything with you unfortunately. But that's that one. So let's go on to the next one. So here's one of my other main guitars for recording. This is of course the SRV, and I know that some of you think I should be hung for taking the pick guard off which says SRV. And the reason I did it is I'm a big fanboy. I love Stevie Ray Vaughan, always have done, but I just don't feel comfortable having someone else's name. I've never been one to go for the signature series guitars. So that's the reason why I switched this. But this is an absolutely incredible guitar, and one of my dear friends gave this to me. Sunil here in Calgary gave this to me, and it's probably the best sounding clean guitar that I've ever played. And I use it a lot because of that. It's got the Texas Specials in here, you know, approved by the mighty Stevie Ray Vaughan. And yeah, big tall frets. I did a lot of classical guitar videos early this year, or maybe it was late last year, but here's a few of them that I recorded with this guitar. But yeah, super guitar, big chunky neck, and you know, that's one of the big things for tone. If it's got a big neck, I think it's more wood vibrating, which is a good thing. This has got the vintage style tuners on it, you know. It took me a while to figure out how to restring with these, but I got the hang of it eventually. Yeah. So there it is. So here I've got a Strat Plus, and this one doesn't belong to me. This belongs to Sunil, my good friend here in Calgary, and he loaned it to me. We did a few videos with it. We did the Blues Duel video that I did a couple of months ago. It turned out quite well, you know. It's like a split screen thing, but split down the middle. I've done a couple of videos like that. But yeah, this guitar's crazy good. It's a 1987 Strat Plus, and one of the really cool things about that is it's the same vintage as I am. I was born in 1987, which makes both of us 27. It's in graffiti yellow, which is a great colour, really pops. It's got the lace sensor pickups. I like this tremolo. It's not quite vintage, it's more of what you'd see on one of the deluxe Stratocasters these days. It's got quite a lot of like nicotine yellowing on the pick guard. I don't know if that's going to come through very well. I know my friend Sunil bought this second hand, so maybe it's been gigged a bit. It's got a rosewood board. I believe it's actually Brazilian rosewood on this. It's got a rather primitive looking roller nut. That's one of the big innovations that Fender made. Or maybe someone else did it before Fender, but that's quite an early one anyway. It's got the locking tuners there, and yeah, it just sounds great, clean, you know. Got some lovely bluesy tones of it. I also did a bit of a, what's that one? Canon in D, Paganini, and you can check out a video of me doing that with this guitar right there. So thanks for the loan, Sunil. I should probably give it back to you soon. So that's that one. So those were my main working guitars. What I thought would be fun though is showing you some of my really old guitars that I started on. So this is the very first guitar that I got. My mum and dad bought this for me as a Christmas present in what I believe would probably have been 2003. And it's a Korean Epiphone, at least I think it's Korean. Yeah, made in Korea, there we go. So, yeah, I got this before YouTube even existed. I played it in my first couple of bands when I lived in Bromsgrove. Namely, the first band I ever played in was called Robert, and the second band that I ever played in was called Magic Firestick, and I used that primarily. I used this primarily for that. You might notice a bit of a repair that I did. That's the problem with SGs, is, you know, you've got the cord coming out here, and I stepped on it during a rehearsal once, and of course the whole thing came off. So I didn't really care about it looking crap. I just put the jack into a piece of wood, and I screwed this piece of wood straight into the body, and it does the job just fine. So there we go. I've got no videos to show of this one. That's before I was making YouTube videos. So that's that, the old Epiphone SG. Okay then, so a lot of you who have been watching me since the early days will probably recognise this one. This is my my Les Paul that I played all those years ago. My mum and dad bought this just because back in 2006. They bought it because they saw that I was getting serious about playing guitar, which was lovely. Thanks, Mum and Dad. This has been, you know, a great companion for me over the years. I posted my first few YouTube videos on this in my bedroom back in Bromsgrove. You could check out a video here of me doing some metal licks, and a video here of me playing some more metal licks. So yeah, it's just an incredibly sentimental guitar for me, having my mum and dad, you know, spend all that money on a Gibson Les Paul. Right, so the first serious stuff I ever did, I did with this guitar. Some of you might remember, it was 2007, I moved up to Glasgow and joined a band called 96.4, and we did some really cool stuff. We got to open up for UFO, we made an EP, and this was the guitar that I used on that stuff. I've actually got a video of us playing in Shanghai. You can click that video here, and yeah, we got to play a festival in Shanghai to some really big audiences, yeah, maybe sort of 10-15,000 people, which was great at the time. I'd never done anything like that. I was coming into that band after playing just sort of pubs and things. At the time, the guitar was stock. It's not stock anymore. At the time it had 57 classics, and it was just a standard Les Paul. I believe the year on this is 2005, even though we got it in 2006. I believe it's an 05. So after doing the Shanghai Music Festival, I actually upgraded the pickups, and that's when I got the bare knuckles. I got some bare knuckle nail bombs. You can click a video here of me playing those back when they were first put in. I did like a Comfortably Numb improvisation, just playing lots of flashy stuff over those great chords. And actually that was the first video that I ever sent to Paul Gilbert, which gave me lots of breaks. And that's the start of my friendship with Paul, who's obviously one of my favourite players. So yeah, what else can I tell you? Here's another video of me playing the guitar with the bare knuckle nail bombs in 96.4, doing a bit of a Sweet Child of Mine cover that I posted a while ago. Now after that, it would have been 2009 that I stopped playing it, and I stopped playing it for a few reasons. And the most important one of those was I was getting some repetitive strain injury. Now this has got a really beefy neck, which I don't think was the problem. I think most of the problem was me playing it too low. And actually in 2008 I raised it up a lot, but back in 07 and earlier I had it slash low, which didn't do me any favours. At least I think that was the cause. So I stopped playing that, but I started playing it again in, I guess it was 2011 or 2012, and we did quite a few changes to it. I got some large stainless steel frets installed, and these really are huge. I wonder if I can give you a bit of a close-up. And the stainless steel, it's said not to wear out, but I'm starting to see a few flat spots, so I'm not sure about that. The other thing we did is we put locking grovers on it to keep it in tune a little bit better. And these are the ones with the 18:1 gear ratio, which are particularly good. And you can see here I've got a graphite nut, which I like. The only bad thing about those is they wear out, so those strings can start cutting through and you can get a bit of fret buzz. And the other thing I did is I put some gold covers over the bare knuckle nail bombs. I put a black cover over this, and I got some nice black and gold top hats to put over the top of those. I actually played this guitar at Paul Gilbert's Great Guitar Escape as well. This is the one I decided to take with me. I've got pictures of me playing with Paul. Here's a picture of me and Paul. Here's a picture of me and Tony McAlpine, and he's holding this guitar here. Yeah, and here's another picture of me sitting at the Cool Kids table with Guthrie Govan and Paul and Kelly Lemieux. So yeah, here's that guitar. This will always have a special place in my heart, and I'll never get rid of it. It's just, you know, to me, it's like an old friend. So there it is, the Les Paul Standard. Okay then, so here's the last guitar that I've got in my studio to show you, and this one barely made an appearance on my YouTube channel actually. I bought this in 2012, and it's a reissue. It's a 1961 Gibson SG reissue. Actually, I believe in 1961 Gibson were calling this a Les Paul because they discontinued the proper Les Paul, and they only started calling it SG after Les Paul saw his name on it and said, get my name off of that. So yeah, like I said, I haven't really played this. There's only one video that you can see, which is me playing some bark with it. I forget what the piece was, but I did kind of a guitar duel where I played, it's basically like a piano piece, and I played the right hand on my Les Paul. No, I played the right hand on this, and I played the left hand on my Les Paul. But it doesn't really go out of me much anymore. I'm all about the super strats these days. I made one modification. I've got the locking grovers on there because the other ones just weren't doing it for me. So we ripped them off and we put these on. Very lightweight. It started off as a faded guitar actually. It's one of the Gibson faded issues. And I bought some polish, and we've sort of given it a nice bit of a sheen to it now. I don't know if you can see that, hopefully you can. But I think it almost looks like an older guitar because of that, because I started with it being faded and polishing it up. So that's that 1961 reissue SG. Okay, so there's one other guitar that I don't have here. It's in England, which is one of my main guitars, and that's the Mexican SoCal that I got sent to me earlier this year. And that's just in England after doing some shows with it. So I did a couple of lessons with that. I did like the Pink Panther lesson, and I also did a lesson on some guitar tricks. And yeah, Brad Lindbergh again did the pickup configuration for me on that one. What's it got in it? Can I remember? I don't know if I can. Yeah, I can. It's got Seymour Duncan distortions, and it's just got a standard Fender single coil in the middle. So that's that. So last of all, there's just a couple of guitars that I don't have anymore, which I used a lot. I used to have a Go Down Redline that I used a lot. I used it the first time that I guested on Jam Tracks Central doing some ZZ Top-esque backing tracks. And yeah, that's probably the best thing I ever did with that. Great guitar. When I moved away in 2012, I gave it to a friend. That's why I don't have that anymore. But that had EMG 81, 85 configuration. It had a pretend Floyd Rose. That's the first guitar I had with a locking trem. And the other guitar that I don't have anymore, which I used quite a bit, was the Fender American Special Stratocaster, which I did the Screaming Strat video. I did that with that, and that was all stock. It had jumbo frets, which I really liked. That's the reason why. Excuse me. That's the reason why I got it. It had the big 70s style headstock. It had Texas Specials, and was it an Atomic Fender humbucker or something? But that's the guitar that I sold in 2012 because I was moving away. So there's a bit of a rundown. I hope I haven't waffled on for too long. I don't know how many people are still watching at this stage. But yeah, again, thanks for the 10,000 subscribers. And I'm going to post a few more videos this month before I go on tour again. So see you in a video real soon. Cheers guys, bye bye.